Alright, what's up guys? We've got another fly we're going to tie today. This one is the Prince Nymph. So go ahead and start you with the nymph hook and a bead head. I'm using a gold one. Most of the time if you're using a bead head for a Prince Nymph, it's going to be gold. Go ahead and start your thread on there. I'm using black thread on this one. And you're going to want to get it all the way down the shank of the hook. So after you get the hook with the bead head on there and get your thread started, some guys like to weight these depending on the water that they're fishing. I don't weight mine. It doesn't really seem necessary. So I'm going to skip that step on here. But the first thing you're going to do is tie on your tail feathers, which you're going to use goose biots. And these are going to be brown ones. Just like that. So go ahead and snip you off 2 of those brown goose biots. And they're going to be your tail for the Prince Nymph. You're going to form a V shape pointing down towards the vise. And pretty tricky at first. I remember when I first started tying flies, getting used to, I got big fat fingers, so these little itty bitty biots are kind of hard to handle, but you get used to it and figure out the easiest ways to do it and whatnot. So just kind of mess around with it and you'll figure out the best way to do it. But I found that if you take it and you put the curved end down, because a biot it's got a kind of a sweeping curve to it, so that you put the let me show you. If you take, hold on, let me trim this real quick. If you hold the biot, you can see that it curves. It's got a little curve to it. And if you put the curve end down like that, then it's a lot easier to work with. So, and the pointed end you're going to want to put facing the vise. So, get it set where you want it, and you can actually hold the tip of it on the vise to kind of hold it in place while you attach it to the hook. And you can do both of them at the same time. It's a little trickier. I've probably tied hundreds of these, and I still do one at a time just because it's easier to get them more accurately where you want them to make a better looking Prince Nymph. So one at a time is what I would recommend, especially if you're just getting started making flies. And then as you get better at putting them where you want them, then feel free to go ahead and try to do 2 at the same time. But trust me, it's a little frustrating when they're moving around. You can't get them exactly where you want them, so I always still do 1 at a time. And that goes for the wings as well. The wings are going to be white goose biots at the end of the hook, or at the end of the fly, and you'll see then I still do 1 at a time. So go ahead and get those on there. Most guys will get them started and then they'll trim off the excess tag ends of the biots. I use them all the way up to the bead, as long as they don't go past the eye of the hook. I'll go ahead and just tie them in there. It adds a little more body to the fly, especially since, like I said before, I'm not weighting them. So next step, I have some gold and silver mylar tinsel. You're going to want to use this for the ribbing on the Prince Nymph, and I use the gold side of mine, so kind of keep that in mind when you're tying it on. You can use gold oval ribbing, you can use wire, pretty much the options are endless. You can use whatever you want, and it can be silver or gold, but I use the mylar tinsel and put that on there, attach it with the thread all the way down to where the biots start. Then you're going to grab yourself some peacock roll like this, and you can use as many strands as you want. The more strands you use, the bigger the body of the fly is going to be. On this one I'm using two strands of peacock roll. The longer strands that come in this bundle, they're a little easier to work with, so I went ahead and grab 2 of those. And where the feather actually attaches to the bird, it's going to have some different, it's white, it's got some different textured material, it feels like, so I trim that off. It also helps to trim both of them to be exactly the same length or where you're tying it on, so way to get that started. And again, I'll start it at the base of the bead and work my way down. This helps, same with the tinsel and the buyouts, to add a little body to the fly, a little thickness to the shank of the hooks. That's what that should look like right there. Now you're going to grab the peacock curl and you're going to evenly wrap it up the shank of the hook towards the eye, as tight together as you can. This is going to form the body of the prince nymph. So you want it to look nice and even as you work it up the hook towards the bead. Take your time, you don't need to rush it. You want this to look good. And if it starts to unravel, or if they become uneven, the strands become uneven, they're not tight next to each other, start over. You don't want to make a fly that's just going to fall apart. So get it all the way up there, tie that in, secure it. And then I've noticed on this fly, something that I do is I'll actually whip finish after each step. After you start the peacock, I'll whip finish. Kind of secures it in. If something happens, you don't have to start all over. So before I trim off any pieces, I'll whip finish it. That way when I trim it off, I know the sections that I've already attached aren't going anywhere. So a little whip finish, snap off tag ends of the peacock curl, and then you're going to take that mylar tinsel or whatever kind of ribbing that you used, and you're going to work that up the shank of the hook over the body of the fly. And it's gonna, you want to do even wraps. You want it to be as even looking as possible. Now you can do tight wraps, closer together wraps, I mean, or you can do further apart wraps. It's kind of all personal preference. I've noticed that mine pretty much always end up the same. It's just second nature now when I'm wrapping them up there, but adds a little extra flash to the fly. Kind of gives that prince nymph some character. So put that up to the bead and then secure that in with your thread, and then wrap it a couple times. And again, I'm going to go ahead and whip finish that, so that way when I trim the thread, if I bump anything, it's not going to blow the tinsel out and make it to where I got to start all over. I've had that happen as well, and nothing sucks more than when you get halfway done or further along than halfway done with the fly and have to start over or try to figure out a way to modify it to work. So, next step, you're going to take you some brown saddle hackle, and the hackle that I'm using it's a little bit bigger than I would have liked to use. The thinner, longer strands of hackle work a little better, but go ahead and take that and then kind of do exactly what I'm doing. I don't know if there's a name for it, but it kind of pulls the fibers of the feather up and makes it so the way they don't stick together as much, gives it a little better look. Now you can attach the hackle in from the bottom of the feather, but on this one, I like the way it works better if you attach the tip of the feather to the fly first. It seems to work a little bit better, gives you a little bit more to hang on to when you're wrapping it around the fly. So I go with the tip of the feather first. I get that up to the bead head and a little ways down, not too much, just like that. And then take the saddle hackle and we're going to wrap it around up towards the bead. This is going to give the fly its legs. It's going to make it more bug looking, nymph looking. So give it a few wraps and then you're going to secure that in with your thread right up next to the bead. Pull that back when you're securing it up the bead, gives it a lot cleaner of a finish. You don't have any feather fibers poking up towards the eye of the hook. It looks just a little better. Just trim off the excess. And then before I put on the wings, which is going to be next, I like to push the saddle hackle down. The majority of the saddle hackle, the main purpose of the saddle hackle is to make the legs, like I mentioned before. So if they're all on the bottom of the fly where the legs belong, it just looks a little more natural. Also makes it a little easier when you're attaching the wings to have less hackle in your way. So again, like I the other time. Before I start the next step, I want to do a whip finish. I trimmed it before, but I had a big tag in, so too bad to trim it off before I put the whip finish in. Like I mentioned before, grab that goose buyouts white, or the wings on the side. Trim off 2 of those, just like the tail, and it's going to be the same type of attachment as the tail. You're going to put them out of in a V-shaped, points down curve down. This one's a little trickier because you got to work around the half bowl, you got to work around the V. So what I like to do when I start to attach them again all the time is hold it against the body of the fly, and then when I put my first wrap on there, before I start putting in tight wraps, I'll loosely put a wrap on there, get it adjusted, and then pull it down. And then what I like to do is the tag end, push it. You'll see. I'll show you here in a second what I'm talking about. But what I'm about to do helps secure it in the fly a little better. So, working on my camera angle, trying to figure out the best way to do it. Right now, my big fat arms in there, so I apologize, but right now I'm just holding it down, getting it secured in there, and then do some of these wraps first, and then I can adjust it as necessary before I take it on there and secure it. So, but put it on there, like I said, and then I'm going to fold that tag in just like that. You can see where I have the two pieces, kind of cuts it right down the middle. So take that tag in and push it down, and when you take a couple wraps on that, it helps secure the wings. When the trout come up and nibble at this, if the wings are on there good enough, those seem to be the first things to go. So you'll have a prince nymph with no wings, a wingless prince nymph. This just helps prevent that from happening. Put the second one on, same thing, pull it down, and then when you do your whip finish to finish the fly, you'll have those taggings sitting there. You can trim those off later. Doesn't much matter. I mean, you could even probably keep them on there. I don't see why that would be a big deal to have to take them off. So you can keep them on there, and it should be just fine. And then just like the other fly that I tied, the first fly that I tied, the leg egg sucking leech, you can use a little head cement finisher on this fly, but you don't really need to. If you do them whip finishes, it kind of goes on just fine. So just finishing up the wings. You see that tag I'm talking about, and then when you lay it over, it kind of flattens out just like that. So another whip finish. We're almost done. Almost ready to go catch us some trout with this fly, or a steelhead. Like I mentioned before, it's a good secondary fly to put with your main fly, like a egg-sucking leech or a woolly bugger or anything along those lines. Go ahead and do 2 whip finishes on the very end, a little more secure that way, and then you're done. All finished. All you gotta do is trim the thread, and you got yourself a prince nymph. Trout slaying fly. It's one of my go-to flies here for trout, especially. But still getting used to doing these kinds of videos. I hope you enjoy them. They're a little long, but it kind of shows step by step what you need to do to get these flies done. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to catch fish on the stuff that you make. So I was a little bit closer look at the fly, so you can kind of see from all angles what it looks like. But yeah, that's the prince nymph. It's a trout slayer. Love using it. I've got some steelhead on it as well, but definitely a trout fly for sure. Yeah, hope you enjoyed another fly tying session with me. We'll keep doing guys keep watching. So again, appreciate it. You guys like, subscribe, and share.